Hi, everybody. We are Dot Your J's, and we are a fresh new music podcast which the world desperately needs. I am Josh, or Sonata, and this is my good friend and relative.
James.
Perfect. Nice and succinct. James, I may occasionally call him something else out of habit, but let's stick with James. Stick with James. So we're both musicians, as probably some of you have realized from other content on my channel. But James was actually a much more of a musician before I was, weren't you, James?
Well, I played guitar in high school and I'm a bit older than you, so I guess, yeah.
Yeah, no, that tracks. And James is more into rock and punk, and you can describe it further than that if you would like to.
Oh, okay, punk was what first I was into pop, and then punk was like an awakening for me. I don't listen to as much punk as I used to. I kind of branched out a bit and I've come back to pop a little bit as well in my listening habits, but I'm a rocker at heart, you know. Metal, punk, that kind of stuff is all good by me.
Awesome. Thanks, man. And I'm a bit more classically inclined, but I do love rock and metal and a few other genres as well. I try to be open minded, and I think we will both be trying to be open minded with what this is. And if you're a bit curious, like, what exactly is this? Well, I think this, like, the heart and soul of it is basically music appreciation, but it could branch out into some other topics depending on how things go, what our audience is interested in, and just, whatever springs to mind as we do this wild new podcast thing all the kids are loving. It's a new craze, isn't it,
The
James?
initial grain, the initial grain was that we want to spotlight um, artists that not many people have heard of. So we
Yes.
don't want to cover the Beatles,
Yeah, I think the
or
Beatles are
Bach.
quite well covered. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just and a last thing, if anyone is completely apoplectic with rage that we are playing some of their music on our podcast, you can set the bots on us, as many people do, or you can just like ask us nicely, like I'd like you to take it down or make a change or whatever. That's all fine. We'll try and do what we can, but honestly,
We're not monetizing this
we're
video
not we're
either,
not
so
aiming to monetize. No. So honestly, the thought is just please be gentle. We're small fries as well, and we know that you're also small fries because that's why we picked you. So let's all be friendly if we can. Anyway, James, would you like to introduce our first act? And I'll just scroll this video back to the start. It might be our first video if that's okay with you.
yeah, sure. So the artist I've chosen is Machine on a Break. It's an Aussie artist with 892 monthly listeners on Spotify. Um, I think she's from Canberra. She describes herself as a solo artist. So yeah, we'll listen to a song or two and talk about her and her music and what's going on with her. And then your artist, Josh.
Oh yes. So I've got a fellow I've actually been a bit friendly with in his comments section. A fellow named Dean Bavister who posts piano music. It's fundamentally a bit digital, but he's put enough effort into it that it still sounds good. It's still good to listen to. But most of all, I love the compositional quality of this fellow, and that's one Dean Bavister. I'll just flick over to his little channel right here. You can have a quick look. But then let's go back to Machine on a Break.
Machine on a Break.
So shall we
Yeah.
listen to our first piece of theirs? And
Well, before you do,
yep.
I'll just quickly say, so this is Jessie Wilson, I believe. She's got two other people that she's listed on her Spotify, a Jacob Wilkes and a John Reichart, I believe. They've helped her with production, and I don't know. She is a classically trained pianist.
Oh,
I don't know if she writes the guitar parts or the drums or any of that. So I'm not. I haven't done my research that well, but yeah. So this is who we're listening to, and she describes herself as if Taylor Swift joined a metal band.
good fun. Anything further to say, or shall I play?
Go ahead, play the song. We can talk about it afterwards.
Yep. All right, here we go. This is Limbo, which is a lyric video. I hope we all have a good time.
Limbo, I'm just here on a whim, so which way is it to go? found the reason that I played, or have I been too soon? Is this right or wrong, or have I done it wrong? Will heaven have a place for me? Or have I done it wrong? Limbo, I'm just here on a whim, so which way is it to go?
Okay. So,
That was Limbo.
I've
by,
just gotten exposed as my YouTube history is a bit spicy, but we'll leave that aside. Um, anyway, James, go right ahead.
That was Limbo
That was
by
Limbo.
Machine on a Break.
Yep, wonderful.
Yeah, so as I said, she describes herself as Taylor Swift joining a metal band. I don't think that. There we go.
Sorry, I'm just.
I don't think
going
that
away.
description is that accurate.
Yeah.
When I was first listening to this artist, I was thinking, what can I compare her to?
Yeah.
And the first thing that came to mind was Evanescence. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you feel
that comes
but,
through to me.
But I mean, so there's some similarities. That it's metal production and female vocalist. But I think this music has a more ethereal quality, and the drums are on multiple tracks, not just the one we just listened to. The drums are slower, the tempo is slower. But what are your thoughts, Josh?
I like it. I think it's I think there's a lot of promise that she has. I think her vocals are pretty good. I think she's a good singer. I think one lyrical concept that stood out to me was what was it? Will heaven have a place for me if I'm the reason that I bleed? I'm like, when you think about that line a little bit, is she basically saying, look, if I kill myself, will I be led into heaven? Almost feels like
Wow,
where that's
deep.
well, like
I didn't go there, Josh, but yeah, that's interesting.
well, even the lines that follow up, am I here too soon? Like, have I died before I was supposed to by taking my own life? Like, it's sort of one of those things.
Well, I
wonder.
did read somewhere that she has had mental health battles and she's an advocate for people, getting help and being their best selves. I did read a bio. I didn't really take that many notes from that. I read it last night.
That's all right.
But one thing that I wanted to point out. So as I said, first I thought Evanescence, but then as I was I listened to the first 10. You know how on Spotify it has the top 10 tracks. So I listened to those 10, and what kept occurring to me while I was listening through those is she's vocally similar to Jenna McDougall of Tonight Alive, which
yeah, it's my other favorite.
that was your favorite artist.
Yes.
Yeah, from Good Things that we went to the last month.
Yes, we went to the Good Things Music Festival and had a great time. And yes, that was my favorite artist. And I will even go so far as to say that Tonight Alive was a better performance than Tool. Now, maybe Tool was capable of better than that night that they gave us. And maybe Tonight Alive was on fire, but that's what I saw.
Yeah, so less like Jenna McDougall's solo stuff, which she releases under the Heaven She moniker. More like some heavier stuff from Tonight Alive. Tonight Alive have a bit more of a punk thing going on, especially in their early stuff. But yeah, I thought there was a similarity there. So Limbo, which we just listened to, is your favorite track.
I think
Josh,
it's my favorite. Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to listen to her most recent single, which I believe is called Dark Days. Do you have that?
I
there?
can bring that up right now. I freaking love what YouTube showed as my next recommended stuff. It was
I didn't see. I'll have to watch the video.
It's so
when you post
spicy. It's like, oh, he's into that. I'm like, yeah, I kind of am. But I'm a nice guy. I swear to God. It's just I'm attracted to some alternative politics. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
And that's not something I feel that I should be hiding, because honestly, everyone having to be afraid of themselves and who they are and what they actually believe in is part of the problem these days. But that's a whole tangent. Let's listen to Dark Days. Do you have
Getting
any
political on us, Josh? Yeah, let's listen to Dark Days.
Let's listen to Dark Days. All right, playing now.
Been here before.
is Machine on a Break with Dark Days. And I picked up on something you mentioned in there, Josh. She says, I'm a danger to myself.
Yeah.
But there's hope in this one because she says, until I get me some help.
S-
I wasn't really focusing in on lyrics when I listened through those 10 tracks that I listened to. I actually listened to 11, but
Oh.
yeah, I picked up on it that time, yeah.
So there is a mental health theme and like a personal demons fighting them kind of theme. And like
Another song that I believe you listened to was Magic Pill. I listened to that one too.
Yep. I mean, we could do that one next if you like, because I think that one's a good one.
Well,
But just
I'll
on this,
go through a couple more of the notes.
yeah, go through
You
a couple of
you
notes. But one thing I was going to say is, right, like, I think the music is pretty decent. I think her delivery and the concepts of the songs are pretty decent. I'm not going to say that like, oh, my mind is blown, or that I'm like, it's not 100% me, but it's me enough that I can enjoy it. Like, I'll say all that up front.
Honestly, it's not 100% me either, but I appreciate what she's doing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think, you listen to an artist once and you don't really fully grasp what they're about. You listen to them multiple times and you start to get it.
Yeah,
I think that's
true.
even happening with just listening back today, So
Yeah, I'd agree
yeah,
with
I
that.
think I'm going to add her to a couple of playlists of mine on Spotify and put her in my rotation.
So I think one of the things that is keeping me from, one avenue that, like, maybe it's a bit, I hate unsolicited advice too much, right? But I am going to suggest this as like something that I would probably enjoy even more. Just putting it out there, which is there's like the music's production is extremely clean, maybe too clean. Maybe there's a roar of vocal delivery. Maybe there's a messier like instrumental style with more like feedback and noise and interesting stuff going on that would appeal to me even more.
Get more of a band feel into it, sort of thing.
Yes, and like just
look, she does describe herself as a pop musician, but I get what you're saying. I mean, there's a lot of bleed through between pop and alternative.
If you want to be,
especially in the modern music scene,
if you want to be super clean and pop, I get it, and that might actually be a totally legitimate decision on both an artistic and a commercial level. But I am not 100% sold by just how clean everything is, if that makes sense. But I do still
just
like
some of the plaudits. Yeah, some of the plaudits that this artist has garnered. So she was a grand finalist in the Listen Up Songwriting Prize. I don't know much about that, but that's pretty impressive. And she supported Parkway Drive and Wax and a few other artists that I wasn't familiar with, but those are two artists that I listen to. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. She also put up a post. This is how I found her, actually. She put up a post where she has goals for 2026. She wants to get 2,000 TikTok followers, 10,000 YouTube followers, and 10 people covering her songs. And that's something I wanted to mention because you've talked about our other artist, Dean Bavister. You want to cover some of his music, like the files you sent me were MIDI program made.
Yeah. So he hasn't.
And you wanted to do a
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, a live recording of the songs. I actually thought about covering Machine on a Break. I'm not sure which song, but as she said in her TikTok, she wants 10 people to cover her, and she would love people to tag her in the posts. I'm not a big poster on social media, but I reckon I could give it a go. So yeah, that's something that we have in common with our artists that we've chosen.
That's very awesome, actually. And I will get to Dean Bavister, but yes, that is actually a thing. I bought some of his sheet music off of Amazon, and I think he's a very high quality piano composer, and I think it's music worth playing. So further getting deeper into this, shall we move on to another song?
Yeah, I mean, what about Magic Pill that we talked about before? Is that there?
Yep. And my question is, do you want to do that as the last song, or do you want to go up to, say, 4 songs total?
We'll move on to Dean Bavister. No, we'll move on to Dean Bavister. I don't want to keep this short and sweet.
Of course.
For the first episode, I don't want to, bore the listeners.
It's okay. All right, we're going to do Magic Pill. I'm also going to just throw this out there for both of us. If there's something you want to point out in the music as it's happening, that is permissible. Like, we're still...
I've been muting my mic.
Okay, you've been very careful. You just want the music to speak for itself, perhaps.
I'll leave my mic unmuted, and if I think of something, I'll say it, and we can maybe turn the volume down or something.
We can always like rewind 5
seconds
and stuff like that. Like, these are the advantages of this format.
We have the technology.
We have the technology, baby. Okay, let's do Magic Pill right now. We good to go?
Yeah. Even this riff sounds sturdier than the other two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. I also liked how they timed the screen. I actually rewind to it because they did this thing. Like, here's the intro, and here we go. As music kicks in, she opens up on the screen.
Oh yeah.
That feels deliberate.
I'm not really watching. I mean, I watched a bit of Dark Days when you had it on before. I do like that video, but I'm sort of looking at my notes nervously, trying to make sure I don't forget anything.
That's all good, man.
Yeah, that line speaks to me.
That it doesn't change how far I fell. Do I owe my life to a magic pill? Do I owe my life to a prison cell? Do I? What once was mine feels like a lie I left behind. Now I owe my life to anyone else but me. Learn to swim before I drown. This disease couldn't take the crown. And I know that it's not my fault I was unwell. And I know that, but it doesn't change how far I fell. Do I owe my life to a magic pill? Do I owe my life to a prison cell? Do I? What once was mine feels like a lie I left behind. Now I owe my life to anyone else but me. Running out of air, running out of time. Had my whole life waiting on the line. Running out of air, running out of time. Lucky I moved on. No more fog in the night. No more clouds in my eyes. Now I'm left with the sight of just how far close I've gone. Do I owe my life? Do I owe my life to a magic pill? Do I owe my life to a prison cell? Do I? What once was mine feels like a lie I left behind. Now I owe my life to anyone else but me.
Machine on a Break with Magic Pill.
Nice.
Any final words, Josh, on Machine on a Break?
Well, the mental health stream is still going strong.
Absolutely, yeah, no. And like, I don't know if we should go too much into this, but I have a history of mental health battles, so I can really relate.
Yeah, I have my own complex history with all that stuff, and I probably have a slightly different way of thinking about it than is evidenced by her lyrics or such. Like, this is actually getting quite contentious, perhaps, but
It's such a personal
it
thing,
is
though,
such a
isn't it?
personal thing. It's also like self-definitional about like what is responsibility, what is like your own decision, and what is being overwhelmed by things beyond your control. These are way deeper questions that I've never seen convincing answers. Not from the legal system, not from the professionals, not from anyone. In fact, they barely try and answer these questions anymore. They mostly just focus on delivering the service as they see fit. and I am maybe alluding to my own dissatisfaction with those services, but that's a whole other story.
No, fair call. Fair call. Look,
Um,
I'm not going as deep as you on this. I feel like I'm keeping it very
Fair
surface.
enough.
This is the first episode, so we'll figure out
Uh, it's
our
it's fine. I'm very much of an
wheelhouse.
oversharer. I sometimes go that way, but I actually think that in praise of this artist, I would say there's potential here that she hasn't fully tapped yet. Um, I think the
Mm.
emotional honesty is really good, which is why I'm suggesting not such over clean musical approach and production, because she could probably benefit from that infusing into the music and the experience of listening and all
I
of
mean,
that.
that last song had that dirty section, where the guitar was quiet but it was dirty. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
that,
yes.
there's hints of it there. So what you're saying is probably
Yeah,
one way she could go, but there's hints of it,
yeah.
already.
And I agree with that. And I also think it's not my place to define the course of someone else, because like, how do you ever know? So you could one day receive a little bit of advice, and it just like it's such good advice, and it helps you. And you could hear advice that is well meaning, but it's maybe something you've heard a million times before, or maybe it's something that just doesn't apply to your values, and you'll never know. You'll never know. Well, at least that's when you're giving the advice, which is why I'll always insist that it's really the artist's decision. Which, yeah, anything further to say on your end, James?
Uh, no, I think I've said most of what I feel. Um,
Okay.
it might come up again while we're talking about Dean Bavister if I think of something that's relevant. Like as I said, she's a classically trained pianist, and Dean Bavister is obviously creating in the classical sphere. So
Yeah.
yeah, why don't we move on to Dean?
Wonderful. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed our little dive into Machine on a Break, and we will now switch gears to Dean Bavister. Let's just look at his channel description here. I like it. Hello, I'm Dean, and here you will find my music box of completed compositions. Enjoy, and he has some emojis. So, I've actually been talking with Dean over the past month or so because I discovered his channel, and there's a specific piece that I have in mind, which I'm pretty sure was the first one of his that I ever listened to. So, I'll show us that one first. But
Is this the prelude in E flat major?
that's the one. It's right here.
Yeah, I liked that one. It's short and sweet, and yeah, it was a real. I mean, for someone who's not versed in classical music at all, it was really easy to come in with just a minute and a half piece that you just get in, say what you got to say, and get out, and like yeah, play it. It's good.
Well, I will play it in just a moment. I just wanted to just give slightly more context. So
Sure.
Dean has been a very friendly chap. He answers just about any and every comment. So please make his day. Check out his stuff. Leave a nice comment. Warm his heart. Even subscribe. I'm subscribed, and I'm pretty sure I caused a couple of other people to subscribe by sharing his stuff. He's a great little artist. Little for now, but I think he has made some really good piano music, even though it's sort of digitized, and we'll get to that. But also, I think he has even more potential because he's far from done. Anyway, let's start with Prelude in E flat major. So this is from a cycle that he made, which we'll talk more about, called Reflections on the Great War, World War I in 24 Preludes. Let's play this sample of it, and let's talk about it. So here we go. Beautiful little thing, isn't
So
it?
I didn't have a lot to say about that piece in particular, but as you say, it's part of the greater work, which is an hour long sort of. Would you call it an album? I mean, maybe not.
You could interpret it as an album if that's your sort of lexicon that you're
That's what he.
comfortable
Yeah,
with.
I
You
get what you
certainly can, but it's more. It would be more properly called something like a cycle of 24 preludes, or literally just
mean.
what you see here: reflections on the Great War, World War One, and 24 preludes. So, for those that don't know, doing a cycle of 24 preludes is actually a very popular thing in the classical world. It started with Bach. Chopin made a very famous set of his own 24 preludes. Shostakovich also did it. I think there are a few others who have done it. And Dean has
That's
done it.
interesting. Why 24, Josh? Why 24?
So the idea there is to cover every single major and minor key.
Gotcha.
And Dean, I don't think he actually, and I've listened to the full set. Dean doesn't actually.
I have two once.
Yeah, Dean doesn't actually go in the traditional order, I think, but I do believe, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, and certainly someone else. If you're gonna listen to it and check the keys of each one, good on you. Even if you correct me, even more good on you. But I think it's just in a slightly unusual order, but it is all 24 major and minor keys. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah.
And
Wow, that's interesting.
the idea there is it's also a great composer training for oneself to try and write in each key and just try and master it a little bit more.
I have another question, Josh.
Go ahead.
If they're all preludes, isn't a prelude an introduction to something, and yet you're having introductions all the way through? Like, I don't quite get that.
Okay, that's actually a very good question. So in classical,
It's not really a question; it's more of a comment.
no, there's a
Can
question
you
in it.
explain that, please, Josh?
There's a question in it, and I appreciate it very much. So in the classical world, a prelude can indeed be an introductory like piece to something else, whatever that might be. However, it's considered like an open-ended, usually short, but not always, usually short piece of music that I'm going to say, and maybe a musicologist will hang shit on me for saying this, but I'm going to say that it's usually a harmonically focused work as opposed to a contrapuntally focused work. And let's not get into defining what that means because it will be here all day. But there's something about it's structurally free but tends to be short, and it's usually about like a singular idea musically speaking, right?
Yeah, okay.
But it's actually a fairly open-ended form, and doing one after the other, well, it's just a series of like musical vignettes, if you will. And if you were to do it as Dean has, you could paint a picture of a grander story, and so it's not really just introduction after introduction. It's more like little idea and little piece about that little idea, one following the other and following the other, building a grander pattern. And you can also write a set of preludes as like something that you can pick and mix from. Sometimes they're intended to be treated in that fashion. But anyway.
Well, look, I didn't have that many notes on the prelude in E flat major, but I had some notes on the whole thing. I tried to listen to it 3 times. The first time I had to call my mum, so I stopped it and I thought I'll listen to it tomorrow.
That's okay.
The second time I was listening to it on my phone, and I picked up my phone and I accidentally clicked the link and it started all over again. So I don't know how long I had listened to that second time, but the third time I listened to it all the way through.
Perfect.
But I made notes on the piece, the album, if you will, as a whole. So some of those apply to the prelude in E flat major, which the main one is. I kept thinking, I can hear drums to this. You know what I mean? It's mostly in 4/4, and it's got a really driving, marching almost rhythm.
It's got yeah, I can see that. I can see like there's a faint triumphant mood to this, but not like an overpowering.
And that's not the whole way
triumphant
through.
mood. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's. I mean, I don't know exactly what Dean's thoughts on the war or war in general are, but you can hear there's a lot of different emotions in, because it goes through towards the end. I wrote this down. At about 50 minutes, it began to drag. It was really slow and boring to me, but then it picked up again by about 53 minutes. It got better, and it was a more. It wasn't the driving rhythm anymore, but it was a more thoughtful, poignant end. You know.
Okay, and mate, it's probably a combination of 2 or 3 things. one of those things will simply be you're not accustomed to enjoying this kind of music and what's going on with it all the time. So it's probably just a
I
little bit
did,
of a
for the
bridging
most
issue.
part, enjoy it.
Okay, great. But the other thing that I'm going to say is probably part of the reason that it drags in places is also the fact that this is digital playback of the score software. This is not a pianist playing the piano. And a
So you
pianist
might be
playing the
hitting those.
piano might be far better. Like it's a better timbre, it's better acoustic. It's also
Yeah.
someone's musical discretion melded with the composition in such a way to probably make it much more interesting and engaging and human.
Look, something I will say about the piece as I listen to it, as a whole, it seems to develop in like a logical and sequential way.
Yes.
So I likened it to a Megadeth solo, if you will.
Okay.
Everything's perfect and intentional and deliberate and well thought out, and yeah, just perfect.
It's well
It's
constructed.
arpeggiated,
It has
if you know
been
what I mean.
engineered
Yeah.
and architected well.
Yes, I believe so. And I think if you were to cover this music and bring that sort of live pianist aspect to it, I'd love to hear what you do with that, you know?
No, I appreciate that. So he's got a little subtitle here. Now, did you take note of the subtitles as you were listening? Because when I listened,
I sort of, yeah, sort of. I picked up my phone every now and then. I was kind of doing other stuff. I think I was watching the tennis a little bit and cleaning up my room, but
Yeah.
I had it going, and every now and then I'd pick up the phone and just look at. I don't read sheet music, but I would look at the sheet music and look at what was going on because it plays as you play through it. So yeah, and I read the stuff at the bottom of the screen a couple of times.
yeah. So did I? There's something I said, or maybe I didn't say it here. There's something that it evokes to me, which is like the longing hopefulness of a soldier who hopes the war is ending. Which I think is also captured up by Turning Tide, Second Battle of the Marne. So it's not.
Would you extend that to people back at home, hoping that the war is ending so that their loved ones will return to them? You know what I mean?
Actually could, and there's even some preludes that are specifically about the home front, like children and women
Right.
working in the factories and stuff like that. So
Yep.
we probably talked quite a bit in one big chunk. So I really want to play more music now. So I'm
Sure.
to bring up, because we're getting deep into it, let's go further into Reflections on the Great War. I think that what I'm going to do next is bring up the whole thing, if I can find it. There we are. And there was one that I want to go into, which is a totally different mood. F sharp, no, I think it's C sharp minor. Oh, there we are. Are you prepared to go with a piece that has to do with the air battle? War in the Skies, A New
Sounds
War.
good.
Yep.
Like a dogfight.
Yeah, like a dogfight. All right, let's go with that one.
Awesome.
Perfect.
I'm keen. How long does it go for, by the way?
Oh, it's just started now. It's maybe 3 minutes
Not too long.
or 5. No, about 4. There we go. We're fine. Let's listen.
Is that it?
Not quite. And there's
I thought that was a great ending.
no, there's just two more chords.
Wow, the tension was palpable at the start of that one.
Yeah, no, it's so weird to think someone made a piano prelude out of aerial combat in World War One. It's like, yes,
No, it's
someone
great.
did, and
Yeah,
it's great.
it feels tense, like what getting shots in against each other and whatnot, and then at the end there's that big climax, which might be one of the planes crashing, and then
Yeah,
the dust settling.
that's
Yeah,
actually a really interesting image to connect with it. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I like how your mind, you not. This might sound a little. Look, it's fine. I think sometimes I'm gonna call it a virgin mind to classical music. Sometimes have the
right.
best takes, especially when it comes to the imagery that they see when you show them the music, and you're like, "Well, how do you react to that?" And they'll come up with something. Oh, there's a plane crashing at the end. I'm like, "Oh my god, that's great! I didn't think of that."
But how much of that was I painting onto what you told me beforehand? Do you know what I mean? Like if you hadn't told me that it was about a dogfight, maybe I wouldn't have heard that because I wasn't,
Well,
listening
it's
for it.
definitely in there because "War in the Skies: A New War" is the subtitle, right?
Mm, right.
And yeah, maybe it helps to have that little cue to get the imagination going, but does that actually hurt it? No, I don't think so. It's good. The things
No, not at
it
all.
all works together, both the text and the music. It's all great. Um,
Now, one other piece that you sent me, a file that you sent me, was Nocturne in F sharp minor, but I don't believe that's part of this
it is not a part
war.
of this set. No. Do you want to
I
listen
really
to?
liked that one. I was going to say, can we listen to that one too?
Yes, we can. We can indeed. So I'm going to open. Uh, let's see
And I'll
now.
just say before you play it. So this is what I wrote down. It's melodically surprising,
Mhm.
and it has a great start, and then at the end it's the opposite. So it starts with a quick ascent and it ends with a slow descent, which I found really interesting. I don't know what that, I don't have a picture to put to that, but yeah, that's just what I wrote down. I found that really interesting.
That is interesting. I think, and I believe you're right. I see. I didn't like literally connect ascent to begin, descent to end. I didn't like think
I
that
think I'm right
explicitly,
about
but I
that.
think you're right, and I think that is worth taking note of. So I think that's it right there. It's actually quite a recent upload. So shall we give it a bash?
Yeah.
All right, let's get straight into it.
Dean Bavister, Nocturne in F sharp minor. Beautiful.
Great. So I believe. Oh, more of my political leanings. You know,
I still didn't see. I'm gonna have to watch
you're gonna have to
when
watch
you
it.
load it.
So like, I have to say something about this. I'm just gonna say the algorithm is trying to feed me a lot of crap with a certain caricature of like me being a certain way inclined politically and kind of like just eating up anything. But it's like you can't even find good quality stuff anymore, and the algorithm just gives you whatever. So please don't judge me too harshly, or judge me harshly. I don't care anymore. But yeah, leaving that aside, on the topic of the music, you are indeed correct about the ascending line at the start and the descending line at the end.
But I noticed that happens more than once. I didn't notice that so much the first time I listened to it. That's only the second time I've listened to it. But it happens. It seems to be a recurring theme throughout the piece. He'll do different kinds of ascending and descending,
Yeah,
like different patterns and stuff. But yeah, it's obviously something that he's
exploring.
exploring.
Yeah. And the thing is, right, like to some extent, how can music not be ascending or descending, right? It's like,
I mean, drawn out.
yeah.
It's going to go up, and yeah, you're right. It's going to go up and then down, and then up and then down.
And
But
if you say,
he makes a big deal of it.
yeah, no, that I totally see what you mean with. But what else can one say? I think
Can I just ask, where is Dean from? Is he located in
I
Australia?
believe he's from the UK.
Okay.
A couple other things worth saying about this is it's very much a nocturne in the well. We can also see my comment here. The melodic ideas and harmonic ideas proceed really nicely. I also like the change of approach in the middle section. The contrast works. It's just the right level of drama here for a minor key nocturne. By that I mean there's sort of like a stereotype, but not a too strict one, of what a nocturne is, and it's mostly defined by the Chopin nocturnes. And this is very much in that vein. And what they generally are is a very melodically driven, somewhat gentle and evocative of the night somehow.
I was gonna say nocturne is like nocturnal, like
Yeah.
sleepy times. Maybe sexy times too, if you're that way inclined.
That's not even wrong because sometimes nocturnes can be a little bit sensual. But usually it's more like tranquil, maybe some drama, some change, but a little bit more on that focus of like maybe a little contemplative, but not always contemplative. It's a very odd musical form, and it's quite beloved because many composers have written nocturnes. It's a vibe more than a rule set, which is often how the best musical forms go. And yeah, very
That's
melodically
great.
driven.
I loved it.
No, excellent. Another thing that he said, I think, and it's clear in the title, I think he originally composed it in 2013 and revised it much more recently.
So he's just recently posted this or last year. We're in the first week of 2026 now, aren't we?
Yeah. So he must have posted this right at the end of last year. So it's 9 days ago, and yeah, I guess he wanted it to not say 2026. He wanted it to say 25. But yeah,
I'm glad we got some recent stuff by both of our artists. That's really good. It's like what they're doing at the moment.
what they're doing at the moment, indeed. He's told me that there's plenty more coming. Let's actually end. So we listened to three pieces or songs by each of our artists. I think that's a totally fine place to leave it. I just want to do quickly a little bit of a look through what Dean has to offer. He's got a lot here. We're seeing 53 videos, which is quite a bit more than Machine on a Break, but Machine on the Break's just getting started, I'm sure. And there's, I think, songs as well as rags in the style of like Scott Joplin. There's I've tried to browse around. There's a lot of stuff that's inspired by Chopin. So polonaises were a very big musical form for Chopin, and his polonaise was pretty good, as I recall. There's also some piano sonatas. There's even more than one piece that has something to do with the Great War. So yeah,
Right.
there's a lot going on his channel already. And like I said, he's a very gracious man, happy to respond to comments and give you more information at the drop of a hat.
And that's the other thing about what we're doing here. We're trying to show small artists because if by chance people are listening to this podcast, you can reach out to these artists and they will most likely respond to you. You
Yeah,
know, they crave that. They want connection with their fans because that's how you get lasting fans that are going to support you in your career, you
yeah,
know?
exactly, exactly. Now, unless
All right, shall we wrap it
I
up
think it's
or
about time to wrap it up. Do you have any final thoughts or final words for our audience?
I'll just listen to music. It's good.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea. Just listen to music. Do it. It's good. Yeah, I can get behind that message. So I am just going to stop the recording any minute now. But thank you to anyone who watches this. And as I said, if any of the artists have any issue or they just want to get in touch with us and say, you did great, thank you very much, or they just want to complain, it's all the same to me. You say what you like, and we'll take it on board. Anyway, thank you all so much for your time, including you, James. And with that, I believe we are done. Bye-bye.